People keep running into my blade.
Hey guys, this is Makwa, and today I'm going to be showing you how to play Yasuo correctly, specifically in the mid lane. So Season 6 is rolling around, and there's a lot of new changes that make Yasuo even better than he was before. There's some new runes and masteries, but the thing about my runes right now is that I don't run crit chance because you can get 100% crit chance with Shiv and IE, which are absolutely core on him. So I don't see any need for crit chance, which you might see in other people's pages. So I just run AD, and it's working pretty well. I mean, Yasuo has got to be one of my favorite champions for a lot of reasons. His kit's just so fun to play. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. He's one of the only champions, I think maybe the only champion, where his ult can be activated off other people, specifically with the knockup. So I think you'll have fun playing him as much as I do. Everything about his kit is fun, but it's tricky. He's definitely one of the hardest people, but he's rewarding once you learn to play him. So I've played Yasuo in lanes versus just about any champion, and let me tell you straight up, there are some champions you do want to avoid at all costs. The ones I've struggled the most with are Zed. You can out-trade him and you can out-duel him, but it's very difficult if he's a really good Zed. LeBlanc, she will just beat you most of the time, trust me. A colleague, at level 6 she is much stronger than you are. Swain has too much DPS for you to do anything against. Azir is... it depends on how well you are with Yasuo. I've played him so long, I can time when Azir's going to ult. So when I knock him up with my tornado, I can ult back to him. And a lot of people struggle with Malzahar, but I've actually started to do rather well versus him. It's just about being able to trade him effectively in level 6. If you're playing Yasuo or trying to learn him, definitely pick these targets, Ahri, Gragas, Twisted Fate, Syndra, or Kassadin. You should do fairly well with all these people because they're all projectile champions. If you want to have your teammates help you, there are some really good champions that have great synergy with Yasuo. These include Malphite, Wukong, Janna, Cho'Gath, and Vi. Anyone with a good AoE knockup will have great effects with Yasuo, really help his power spike. So here we are, I'm playing a normal game with my friends. I'm a platinum player, so I'm not the best, but I know my way around town. I'm laning mid versus a unusual opponent, Teemo. Usually don't see that, but what are you gonna do, right? So one thing you want to always do is you start E first. Now, the reason you do this is because of what I just showed you there. Yasuo is exceptional at trading early game, especially level 1 cheeses. His E, you must stack it up twice before you go in because the damage is amplified 25% each time, stacking twice, so 50% damage bonus. So if it says 100 damage, if you actually E through 2 things, it'll actually be doing 150 damage, so it's quite a big level 1 difference. Here's an example of when you want to do some early game harass. You build up your tornado, build up your E, dash in, get an auto attack off, and unfortunately Teemo blinded me with this Q. But for most other champions, that's a good way to trade, especially if your shield's up. I would not recommend doing it if your shield's down unless you can calculate to an extent what you think the trade outcome be. But if your shield's up is a great opportunity, most people you will outtrade. Here's an example of when I used the wall, especially versus projectile champions. I knew the wind wall would block his Q and some of his auto attacks, so I could trade effectively. Here, I knew I should have been autoing, but I did end up getting first blood. Don't be scared. If it comes down to a brawl early game, there's a good chance, depending on your runes and masteries, that you could even land a couple of critical strikes. And if you dash around the arena, you can more than likely rebuild your shield twice in a good skirmish. So as I took advantage of it and got first blood, which most people would have backed out of, I know Yasuo's limits, so this is huge for Yasuo, is knowing that a shield resets after his last breath ult. As you can see, I knew I had my passive for my shield, for my ult, excuse me, So knowing I could go back into a dangerous situation, we won the 2v2, got a 2-for-1 trade, and most people would have been scared to initiate that because they thought their health had been too low. A lot of people do forget that he has a second shield through last breath, but it's something really important to you, and it's something you need to take advantage of. An important technique for getting the last hit on a kill or finishing opponents is to dash to him with your E and then Q, and it makes Yasuo spin his sword around him. Here's a good reminder to let you know that Yasuo's ult isn't just for AoE CC on one target, it's also on as many people you can get in the radius. As you can see, I waited for the knock-up after the tornado was at its max length, kept him up at the last breath, and allowed my team to kill him with relative ease again. Here's a good example of a mistake that I did. I thought we were going into a fight. I stacked my Q like you're supposed to. I saw a good opportunity for a good AoE ult, but as you can see, I didn't have any follow-up. His ult's a pretty long dash, so if you have no one else to follow up, you're just dead meat for the other team. So even though you see a good opportunity to ult, the most important thing is knowing your team, the presence where they are, and if they can help you out. Because if they can't, well, you shouldn't probably ult like I did there. A really important reminder is Yasuo's W win wall. Here's a good example of when I could use it effectively. I'm actually really good at his win wall. It's one of the things I'm best at him with. A lot of people are, if you get a good win wall off, people will be really impressed, and my team will be like, wow, that's stupid. But as you can see, I knew Thresh was going to do his Q, so I blocked it from Mordekaiser getting pulled and potentially getting killed. Putting everything together that I just showed you, you'll be able to turn games around and end them like I did. Thanks for watching, guys.